In part one of the series, we discussed how David Koresh, formerly known as Vernon Wayne Howell, had gained leadership and control over the Branch Davidians, a sect of the Seventh-day Adventists who lived in a compound known as Mount Carmel. The road to get there for David had been a long one. He had already been kicked out of Mount Carmel once and had spent years living in rough conditions with a small group of separatists who believed he was the true prophet coming to usher in the end times. This is the story of the Waco, Texas siege.
Welcome to Carmelia Street. I'm Tori.
I'm Sam.
Man, I'm excited to get into like
The nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty of it. Yeah, like what Waco's known for.
Oh.
Not great, obviously.
Not
we
great.
don't talk about great things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just something I've always been fascinated with, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yes.
We're in person today.
Oh my gosh, this is our first in-person recording, and it's like wild, like, oh.
It's crazy. I'm getting to see a whole new side of things. Like Sam uses the Notes app on Windows, which I didn't even know that they had that app anymore. Is it an app? It's an app.
Yeah. Yeah, I use that for everything. Call me old school.
I forget Word costs money.
Oh.
I forget about that. That makes sense.
I forget about that too.
Yeah, because I have it because my job. I have to have it for that. So.
I had it through school, so.
Yes, yeah. And before my job, I had it through school. So yeah, but Google Sheets is free.
Okay, well, I will.
She's like, no, I'm in my ways. I got my Notes app.
No, it's simple.
Yeah.
It's there.
It is kind of nice. There's not a ton of options. Because like I do feel like some of the options on like Word and Google, it's a little overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
She also has 1,000 icons on her.
Yeah.
On her desktop.
I have a problem.
I'm feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, we all have our preferences. It's just interesting getting to see the back end of things over here.
Yeah. This is it.
Yeah, here we are. Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay. Well, so in 1989, the previous leader of the cult, George Roden, had just been sent away to prison, and he was declared insane as he had attacked a fellow cult member with an axe. Mind you.
Right. That's coming back.
Yep, just bringing us back. And he incorrectly believed him to be an informant to David Koresh or Vernon Howell. Since George owed back taxes on the property the compound was on, David was able to fundraise enough money to purchase the land outright, and he became the official owner and now effectively the leader of the Branch Davidians. In 1990, he officially changed his name to David Koresh, which was very symbolic to the members of the cult. Of course, David being their actual group name, or David being in the group name, the Branch Davidians, but also referencing King David, the ancestor of Jesus, and then Koresh, after a Persian king who freed the Jews from captivity in Babylon.
The audacity.
The audacity, lots of symbolism, and it's going off at this point.
The ego, it's got to be up to here.
Yeah. And it only escalates from there.
Cool. And is he's married to a young woman as well, right?
Yes, at least one 14-year-old, unfortunately. And the previous, if you remember from our last episode, he was married, kind of, in their terms, to the older woman who was the matriarch of the cult.
And then okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she passed away, right?
And she had passed away.
Okay. And so the son is the one who's locked up now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He was deemed insane by the courts.
Yeah.
Because he attacked someone with an axe, and with what he was saying, he's like, but no, David's trying to take over my people, or whatever. They were like, yeah, you're crazy.
Right. And there's usually pretty in-depth psych evaluations as part of deeming someone insane too. So he really did have and which tracks,
Yes.
And it kind of seems like I'm just not surprised that that's the product of the situation that he grew up in.
Exactly. This whole thing with David Koresh, he was able to fundraise enough funds to acquire the property. He began to impose really strict rules on the followers, and a lot of them complied, and a few of them left. So they were eventually forbidden from maintaining ties with the outside world, which is Cult 101. No surprise there.
True, yeah.
He declared that him and only him would be able to have sex. Also super convenient and annoying. Like, what?
Right. That's the point when I'm like, oh, and I gotta go.
Yeah, well, all these guys were like, okay, sure.
Right.
And they gave over their wives and their children over to David Koresh, or Vernon.
Right.
I almost want to refer to him as Vernon.
Just because he wants to be called David.
Exactly.
Right. I'm down with it.
Like, just David to, like, establish his, like, dominance.
Kingship.
Yeah, his
Ew.
kingship, or his, like, whatever. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, hate him.
So the Branch Davidians were required to hand over all personal possessions and property to the community. And they were required to dress in a very modest fashion. Very plain clothes, like the women had to wear their hair braided. It was all
What is up with that in cults? The girl's hair has to be braided.
I don't know, dude. Either braided or shaved.
Or super long.
Yeah,
Usually,
or super long.
Right.
Okay, so in addition to all these restrictions about David only being able to have sex with their wives and their daughters, he also gave dietary restrictions. And that was processed flour, no. Sugar, no.
Huh.
And all dairy products.
What's wrong with dairy?
Well, he said it was baby food. He said that because children drink milk from their mother's breast, that was considered baby food, and it was only for babies, and that they would have none of it. And in my opinion,
so weird.
It is so weird. It's like, dude, if you're lactose intolerant, just say so. Like,
He's
come
like,
on.
I don't want to see no one else eating cheese.
I don't want a single shred of cheese.
That's crazy.
I bet their white people taco nights were not fun.
No. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, they can't have tortillas.
They can't. No, because of the flour.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, that part tickled me. It's like, no dairy.
Yeah, that's
Because it's baby food. So weird.
one of the more out there rules for sure.
Yep, for sure. And followers were also subjected to severe sleep deprivation, and they worked long hours. And David Koresh was the person who told them when they could or couldn't sleep. He was just
my
the
God.
end-all, be-all of it completely. And the children were also controlled very heavily, and there was even a designated spanking room for discipline. So on top of all of this, the followers, they had to listen to hours and hours of rambling and scripture and readings led by Koresh every single day. So you can imagine the toll that that would have. This was all pretty different from what was happening before David had become the leader. So naturally, there were people who wanted to leave, and they were allowed to do so after an extensive exit interview where he would interrogate them for hours and remind them that abandoning him was equivalent to damning themselves for all eternity.
Shoot.
And they were rejecting salvation. They're like, yeah, thanks, I'll go to hell. That was pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah.
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 It's like, great. I'll be there with all my other friends.
Everyone else, yeah.
But those who left quickly started informing the police about the sexual abuse of the children and the hoarding of weapons, but unfortunately, for a few years, their reports were not taken seriously. It was only in mid-1992 that eyebrows started to raise after local authorities were tipped off by a postal worker who said he was delivering suspicious packages to the compound. Those included, like, grenade parts.
I was gonna guess guns, but that's
Yeah.
that's further.
And just, like,
That's
grenade
more.
parts,
Grenade.
gunpowder, a lot of cardboard tubes.
It's like, where was he
involved.
getting this before the dark web? Grenade pieces.
I guess they had people. They definitely
Must
had a lot of this they acquired legally. The sheriff's office then contacted the ATF, and they began an extensive investigation. Only when they found out that they were modifying weapons,
Right.
they were concerned.
Right.
Not about the children, not about the women,
Yeah.
nothing like this. It was only when they were like, oh, guns? No.
Right. Yeah, I hate it.
I hate that. So the ATF began to interview former cult members and some of the local farmers that lived close to the compound. And these neighbors reported hearing heavy and continuous machine gun fire sounds coming from the property. And the former cult members said that the Branch Davidians had began modifying weapons to become fully automatic, which we know is like, it's a big no-no. You don't do that. So to start verifying everything, an undercover ATF agent became a part of the Branch Davidians and was able to say that everything that was being reported was true between the child sex abuse and they fully had like machine guns and
Right.
everything. So ATF compliance officers inspected the records of local federal firearms dealers and found that the cult had legally and illegally acquired parts to build dozens and dozens of automatic weapons, thousands of rounds of ammunition, and destructive devices. So this evidence was used to draft a federal arrest and search warrant for David Koresh and the compound. So early morning on February 28th, 1993, the ATF planned a surprise daytime raid. They informed a local news crew to meet them near the compound just to document everything. As the crew arrived, they realized they were lost and saw a mailman driving down the road and stopped and asked for directions. The mailman told them where the compound was and asked why the news crew was there. The news crew told him that they were there to document the compound about to be raided. What they didn't know is that the mailman they had just spoken to was actually a member of the Branch Davidians, who then went straight back to the compound and told David what was about to happen, which of course caused a lot of panic among the followers. So it's like, here they are. David is like prophesizing about the end times and about how people are going to come after him. And here it is coming to fruition.
True. Yeah. Ugh. Also, like, what the fuck with the news crew?
I know, dude. They totally messed up. They messed up. It's like, oh, here's
Is this your first police raid?
Exactly. It's like, oh, why are you going there? Oh, yeah, there's about to be a federal raid.
Yeah, just part of that.
It's like, okay, well, see you later.
And he just turns around. And did the news crew get there before the cops?
They did. They knew.
Because
They absolutely did.
that is not supposed to happen, I would imagine, too. Because just imagine if they did know where they're going and they pull
Right.
up to the compound, just the news crew.
Mhm.
And then also that's so dangerous because he has a bunch of weapons. And, and the
Weapons.
cops know about that.
Yep.
What is happening?
No,
Wow.
it is a gross
Oversight of communication.
oversight of communication. Exactly.
Wow. You know,
Yes.
it always comes down to communicating.
It does. Can we just learn to communicate?
Healthy
please?
communication
Healthy.
is key.
It would be great. It just blows my mind that this whole thing could have been very different
Right.
if the news crew wasn't there.
Yeah.
And
And that's mostly on the cops.
yeah.
Unless, I mean, I guess we don't know, like, exactly what happened, but something tells me if the cops had told the news crew, hey, check in with us before you get there, like, or don't come until 10 because we're going to go
Or
at 9:30.
follow us in.
Or meet us outside and follow us in. Like, I feel like they probably would have followed those instructions
Yeah.
if they had been given.
Yeah.
So if the instructions were not given to them, that's a huge
Yeah.
oversight.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
Mhm.
So at around 9:45 a.m., over 70 ATF agents arrived in cattle trailers and vehicles to serve the warrants, only to find heavily armed Branch Davidians waiting for them.
Because you sent the news crew ahead.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Oof. So I have not been able to find any clear information about who shot first.
I remember trying to figure that out, too. And
Dude,
yeah,
it's impossible.
it's all hearsay.
It is. But regardless, a crazy 2-hour firefight erupted between the two groups, in which 4 ATF agents were killed and 16 were wounded, and 6 Branch Davidians were killed. David Koresh had also been shot in the stomach, but was alive, and he was being taken care of by the members, and he survived the whole time. He was fine.
What's ATF?
ATF is alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it just was this crazy like gunfire that happened over 2 hours.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a movie.
Hmm. Yeah, and there's like children
Right.
in this place,
I know.
and they're just like,
That's the thing about this whole thing that always fucks me up is that the kids are there.
yeah, the kids are there. Obviously, they tried to sequester the women and children, but regardless,
I mean, we've barely gotten into it, but like the way that this whole thing was handled is
crazy.
not okay.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So
From the police's standpoint, like their procedure.
yeah. So at around 11:30 a.m., so nearly 2 hours after the gunfire erupted, a ceasefire was negotiated, and the ATF agents.
Just crazy. Like it's like a war.
You're like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah. The ATF agents retreated, but they did secure the perimeter around the compound. So also, whenever a federal agent is killed, that brings in the FBI.
Okay.
It brings in a lot of other different government
So they're
agencies.
federal.
So now it's like this whole
Okay.
thing. And so they were contacted immediately to come out. And after that, very shortly, nearly 900 agents from local law enforcement to FBI, and there was also a team of hostage negotiators that arrived at Mount Carmel within hours.
Good.
That happened. Good. Yeah, absolutely. And they began to communicate with David Koresh over radio, and they negotiated the release of 21 children and a few adults. What is wild is like the interviews with the surviving cult members who released their own children to the agents. They have said that they were willing to sacrifice their children to the enemy in order to secure the safety for David. So by them releasing while they're talking to these FBI agents, and these moms are like, okay, yeah, I'll give up my child.
Which, like, you're literally, like, putting your child in safe hands.
In safe hands, which maybe some of them knew that, but a few of the people have been, a few of the moms even have said that I was willing to do that because I thought this was for David. So David then said he would release more followers if the news stations broadcasted a sermon from him in which he continued to just rant about the end times and various prophecies and how he was their savior. So they followed through with that to appease him and to secure the safety of more people. Which, yeah, that worked a little bit. He released a few more people. Things came to a stalemate, however, when there was a moment where David was about to step outside finally and give himself up to authorities. And at the last moment, he changed his mind and said that God was telling him to wait.
What a wuss.
He's like, I just heard. And it's like in the recordings
to the... he can have sex.
I know, right? But yeah, he said that God was telling him to wait, which really frustrated the federal agents. And now that the hostage team was involved, which they are super, like, hardcore, like, in their tactics.
I wonder how many women are involved in this whole process, like, as far as, like, leadership.
I have not seen a single woman.
Yeah.
But I don't think David would listen to them anyway.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. Okay.
But good point, though.
Yeah.
So when they finally, like, thought that they had come to a complete agreement with David, and then he backed out at the last minute, they were like, hellfire is coming on you. They employed aggressive psychological and tactical measures. They cut off the compound's power and water. They ran over all of their vehicles with tanks, and at nighttime they did blinding lights into the windows. Like, there's no way you cannot see these lights coming in. And they played really high decibel sounds. Yeah. And this is the part that I think would drive me insane.
Dude, I would literally lose it. I mean, it's psychological torture.
It's this is exactly what they were doing to them. Absolutely. And
there's children in there.
There's children. They would play the screams of rabbits being slaughtered.
Wow.
Which is one of, like, I'm going to name off a few things, but that's, like, the worst thing to me, like, hearing animals being slaughtered like that, like, oh my god.
That's so awful, yeah. And again, there's children in there.
Yep. They would play jet planes taking off, like, just the sounds, ringing telephones. And then they would also play songs like Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Were Made for Walking, but it would be over and over and over and over and over. And then they would also play Christmas carols.
Okay.
Which is like, okay. So after a few weeks of the psychological torture, things came to a catastrophic end on April 19th, 1993. So this began on February 28th.
Wow, yeah.
So, a long time. The FBI began pumping tear gas into the building in an effort to force the remaining members out. And then within 9 hours, the compound erupted into flames. There are many conflicting reports about how that fire started. The DOJ concluded that the Branch Davidians themselves deliberately ignited the fires, pointing to aerial footage showing at least 3 separate simultaneous ignition points inside of the compound, and audio surveillance from the FBI in which they heard David and his followers discussing spreading fuel around. Fire experts have also said that the rapid spread of the fires were consistent with the use of intentionally placed liquid accelerants.
Okay.
So it does seem like it was like a mass, I don't want to say the word so we don't get flagged.
Like a mass unaliving.
A mass unaliving situation.
Are there reports too that, like, or not reports, but, like, I don't know if it's conspiracy theories or what, but are there theories too that, like, the kind of gas that they used wasn't the tear gas, or it was some other kind of gas?
Yep. So even though the FBI initially maintained that the tear gas that they were pumping in was not flammable, it was later revealed that some of the devices that they used to do that contained a chemical called methylene chloride, which could have interacted with the heavy concentration of the gas, and then also the building was very flammable as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like who shot first.
Right, yep.
no one knows.
And the DOJ too is a federal organization, so it's like,
of course they're going to cover their ass.
but they have like,
but they could have
photographic evidence.
Exactly,
too,
and these
so.
people were fucked up.
Right.
So it is one of those things. It's like we will never know.
I know. Yep. I remember going into such a rabbit hole with this, like years. I was like, it was maybe 7 years ago or so, and I just like was so frustrated because I could never get any solid answers, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah. No, it is.
But they're not out there.
They're not out there. Within hours, the compound was burned to the ground, and David Koresh, along with 76 of his followers, 22 being children, died, and only 9 followers escaped the fire. The 12 surviving members, those that escaped the fire, and those that were released in the beginning as in adults, were indicted for conspiracy to murder federal officers and weapon violations. And ultimately, 8 were convicted of firearms charges and served prison time. And then all of them have been released as of 2007. This culturally has had a lasting impact. The destruction of the compound became a rallying cry for anti-government groups. And I hate to even say his name, but Timothy McVeigh was deeply radicalized by the Waco siege and purposely timed the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing to occur exactly 2 years after the fire on April 19th, 1995.
Wow. I don't think I know much about that.
It's ridiculous and it's crazy that this dude had this much influence over someone else that 2 years later he timed a bombing specifically to honor this.
Yeah, I hate that.
So the original compound has been bulldozed over shortly after the siege, and the 77-acre property is now a pilgrimage site of sorts, with monuments honoring the victims and a small chapel that serves as a visitor center. The site continues to be managed by surviving or successor members of the Branch Davidians, who now call themselves the Lord Our Righteousness Christ Church. And that is the story of the Waco, Texas siege.
It's just so sad that there's so many kids there.
It's so sad.
Because they didn't have the right to choose to be there, or what had happened to them while they were there. That breaks my heart. And the fact of, like, negligence both on the parents' part but also on the government's part. Like, those children were just let down time and time again.
People were like, hey, there's child brides happening.
Yeah.
As young as 10 years old. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. But they're like, but he might be making automatic weapons. And they're like, oh,
gun
yes.
bits? Like, now we're interested. Yeah.
It sucks, dude.
It does. What an interesting case. I'm so glad you did that one. Speaking of stories, happy stuff, Toy Story.
Oh, good segue. Toy Story. We are giddy.
Yeah. Are you going to go watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think I'm going to bring my kid to his first movie, so.
Should we go?
I'm down. You just have to understand I might not be able to stay for the whole thing because I don't know how he's going to handle it.
And I can definitely
understand that. I'm sure you would.
Yes.
But no, I'd be down. It has to be like a daytime thing. Like,
situation.
Yeah, preferably when the theater's not packed.
Absolutely. No.
But yeah, I was thinking about going like the opening sometime near when it opens during the day.
I think like we were talking in a group chat because someone said, oh yeah, it's coming out June 5th.
That was me. I thought it was.
Okay.
And I was going to go with my mom. I was ready to buy tickets. Okay. I was like, hey, should we go? Because it was just like that day. And I realized.
But no, it's June 19th.
It is.
Which also ties in. Bro. I think a few years ago, she had a purse that's called the Cloud. And she wore it on June 19th.
Of course she did. Our queen.
Like, people say we're crazy. But she does this shit.
I tell you what.
I'm sorry. That is not a coincidence.
With the, like the uppercase of the T and the S and all the track 5s.
Yes.
I was telling someone who's not a Swiftie about it because it happened while I was hanging out with them. And I'm like, listen, all the track 5s, T and S are, and he's like, yeah, but TS for Taylor Swift. I'm like, but why would she do that right now? I'm like, it's Toy Story. It's for Toy Story. And like Pixar was putting out the billboards and Disney. And I'm like, something is definitely a brew. Something is happening. And when she released that she had the song, which I love, in it, he was one of the first people I texted. And I was like, do you see I'm not crazy? I just need you to know.
The proof is in the pudding. Is that what they say?
I think so.
No. And I wonder what that original countdown...
I know.
Was that an accident?
I know, a glitch.
Was it a glitch? I'm kind of thinking it's not because it would give us the whiff that something's happening.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
But it is so weird. What is reality?
Well, and we never got that countdown for anything.
No.
Yet, at least.
I mean, we
Also-
got that little like merch drop, right?
Mhm.
But that wasn't the same.
And it never had the countdown leading up to it.
Not like that.
Which
no.
I don't know if they were like, oh, we accidentally released it, scrub the countdown, but...
Right, maybe they were like, let's panic.
Can we talk about, too, that this is huge for one song in one movie?
Yes.
Like, she's changed her profile picture. It's all over her Instagram. All
We're-
over
we're getting
all over
David
social. Okay. I think that she's using it to shift eras,
Mhm.
because she changed her profile picture. And it's kind of this, like, in-between zone. The grid is aligned.
The grid, y'all, the grid is aligned.
So I feel like if this is all about just the one song and there's not more coming, which I don't really feel like there is, like a lot of people are like, she's a character in the movie, or like,
Right.
I haven't been sold on that, maybe, but I haven't been sold. I think she's using it to kind of switch into what the next era
Right,
is going
right.
to be, which I think is debut TV.
I think
And there was the Nicki Kid video. Was that you who shared that today? Someone did in our Taylor Swift chat.
I might have.
Where the TV drops
Mm-hmm.
after, like...
That was me.
Yeah, so...
In the music video.
Yes, so she like Taylor shared on her Instagram like a little promo video that was from the music video, and it shows like Buzz lifting his eyebrow, looking
And
down
he's,
at
like,
Jessie. And then if you go back,
Adorable, by the way.
I know. And if you go back and look at the like the music video and what happens right after that, a TV drops,
Like,
like
literally.
Taylor's version.
You guys.
Okay.
Okay, we do sound crazy, but it's true, though.
If Nicki King endorses it,
I'm down for it.
dude,
Mm-hmm.
we love you, Nicki.
Yep. Love you, Nikki. Thank you for the inspiration.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those exciting times to be a Swiftie. I
It
live
is
for it.
exciting. Oh my gosh. I love the new song. I have been listening to it over and over and over.
There's like that part where it like crescendos and like the music gets really loud, and something about it reminds me of like a Queen song. I don't know why.
You mentioned that. Yeah, you're like, I'm getting 90s Queen vibes.
Yeah, or
And
like country meets Queen.
I
Queen
can
the
kinda see,
band.
I can see that, for sure.
God, I do love it though. I love it. The little I knew you, like when she goes up.
I know, like the little squeak almost.
Yeah, she goes up in
I
pitch.
knew you.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's such a good song.
We just got the picture of Taylor Swift at the world premiere, dude, like literally while recording.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, so live, coming at ya. But this will be released on Sunday, but still before the film has.
Yeah.
So we're good.
I mean, stunning.
Like, can we? Come on.
I can't. It's so hard. How do I get it in the middle?
Yeah.
My God, that dress.
Oh my goodness, love it. I also saw this like little thing where it's like we watched this originally as Andy, and now we're Andy's mom. So, oh my god.
I do
Ew.
just throw toys away willy nilly too.
Oops, guilty. But nothing like that though. Nothing like. I feel like I know which toys she,
Right. Yeah.
loves. But there are some toys that I'm like, you're going. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're donating.
Yeah. I just like get so overwhelmed with stuff, and I'm like, I want less of it.
Yeah.
Away it goes.
Not as much.
If there's a missing piece to the
I
puzzle,
mean,
it goes.
you see my
Life with children.
yes, life
Young
with
children.
Young children.
Okay. You can send us an email with any true crime cases you'd like to hear, or maybe any personal true crime run-ins that you've had. That would be interesting. You can send your emails to crimeliast@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok at crimeliast podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Crimelia Street. And you can like and subscribe to us on YouTube at Crimelia Street Podcast. Bye, clowns.
Bye, plans.